Romain Virgo.
Yeah.
King. Welcome. This is your first time here in Nevada? No, second time, yeah?
Yeah, this is the second time.
What's your, what was your vibe this year? The weather's a little different. You have a good time this year?
Yeah, I could feel, you know, that cool breeze passing through on stage. You know, it's different from last year. Last year was a bit, you know, hotter. You know, but it's always good. You know, the vibe, the reception from the crowd, you know, has been good. You know, it's just good to come back, you know, and perform and to see the people enjoying themselves out there. You know, so it's always a good vibe, here in Nevada.
So we're recording this so we can post it online.
Yeah.
And when you walk through the backstage, you see the fabrics listing the artists year by year for the last. What,
yeah.
And as we go through each year and record each artist, you know, and by the way, thank you for your performance and thank you for taking the time to let us bug you for a couple minutes. But can you tell folks a little bit about yourself? You know, introduce yourself. Where you from?
Well, Romain Virgo, and I'm from Stepney in St. Anne, Jamaica. Stepney is a mile away from 9 miles where Bob Marley was born and raised, you know. So, you know, from the hills of St. Anne in Jamaica. You know, I grew up in a community, you know, not much violence or anything like that, you know, but, you know, poor community, you know, poor family. You know, music was always there though. You know, and, you know, I started singing in church. That's where it started out. You know, and you know, singing inside of my community, outside of my community. That's how people, you know, started the new Romain Virgo. You know, and then it moved on to high school, where I became the lead singer of my high school choir. You know, in 2006, we entered a choir competition, high school choir competition, and it's called All Together Sing. You know, the name of my high school is Arbuthnot Gallimore High School. You know, and you know, we came second that year. You know, and from there, everybody was saying that, you know, Romain, you need to enter Rising Stars. Rising Stars is similar to American Idol or X Factor or any one of these, you know, talent competition show. People would vote for you at the same time. You know, and, you know, I entered in 2007, you know, won at the age of becoming the youngest person to win the competition at age of 17. You know, and from there, you know, I started working with Donovan Germain from Penthouse. You know, Donovan Germain is somebody that, you know, work with a lot of top artists in the business like Barry Salmon and Sanchez and Buju Banton and Assassin and Master Griffiths and Wayne Wonder. So mention a few. You know, my first big song was Can't Sleep, you know, the feel good rhythm with Barry Salmon. You know, and from there it started, you know, songs like Love Doctor and Who Feels It Knows It and Taking You Home and Rain Is Falling and all the other songs, you know, came. So it's been a you know, short but, you know, a whole heap of things going through young career, you know.
So can you say something about, you talked about you came up with singing in the church, in the choir in school.
Yeah.
But not just the singy part of what you're doing,
yeah.
But it seems like the lyrics, the message, not just the message, but the way you're developing your songs,
yeah, is
catching folks and making you accessible to folks, because there's just, you know, the message is dope, the singing is dope, but it seems like your structure and the way that you're bringing your songs together has been really successful for you. Can you say something about how you put your tunes together?
You know, we just try to sing songs where, you know, we know everybody, you know, from all walks of life can understand. You know, I mean, English is a world language, you know, so we try to make people, even though we might, you know, sing a few lines with our own thing, cause we can't lose our culture, you know, because that's where the music starts from, you know. But, you know, we try to make each of our songs and world songs, even though they're reggae music, you know, but we try to make everybody can understand them, you know. So even if it's one line inside a song, you know, we always make sure so some people can sing it, you know. Even the melodies that we choose to use in our songs, we always make sure that there are melodies that people can relate to, people can sing to them, you know. That's the important thing. I don't want to go on stage and then everybody's just standing and looking at me and can't sing along or can't wave along or whatever, you know. So I always try to make them understand who we are. So first of all, I always try to choose melodies that are catchy. People, you know, easy. If they should come to one of my shows now and and walk outside of the venue, and that melody would still be playing inside of the head, you know. So that's the aim. That's what is always there in the back of my head whenever I'm writing a song, or whenever I go inside of the studio, or whenever I go on stage to perform. I always leave the people with something that will be ringing inside of their ears, you know. So, yeah, man.
Questions?
Yeah, this is Preacher D with the Mendocino Environmental Center.
Yeah.
And my question for you is just about the systems, you know, because, you know, about whether it's Jamaica or America, how do you feel about the systems in all the countries of the world?
You know, well, you know, a country like Jamaica, you know, I've grown up, you know, as I mentioned before, poor family. I know what it's like, you know, poverty and everything like that, you know. And as I say, it's not just Jamaica alone. It's a world thing, you know. So, you know, that's one more thing I should mention, you know, for your question. You know, we always try to do music where we know, say, you know, the world can relate to it. It's not just only in Jamaica that we're facing, you know, all of these problems like, you know, poverty and everything like that. You know, all around the world. You know, and you know, the kind of system we're living in now today, you know, it's changing each and every year. You know, you know, in most places it gets worse and worse and worse each year. You know, and music is what we have, you know. So we always try to use the music in a positive way, you know, to try to let the people that there's hope there. You know what I mean? Feel like letting go. There's so many people around the world, you know, feel like letting go, you know, and a lot of people could come up to me and say, yo, Romain, is like, you wrote this song for me. You know, and it's just motivating, you know, kind of uplift my spirit and make me want to go back, you know, on the giant board and write more songs like The System, songs that we know people, whenever we sing them, people around the world can definitely relate to all of them, you know. So, you know, we give thanks, you know, when we see people appreciate what we put out, you know, when we see people can relate to what we put out. And I would think that that's an important thing in this business, to do music that we know 20 or 30 or 40 years from now, you know, people will still be able to relate to the kind of lyrics that we're putting out there, you know. So, anyone just go on to do it like that.
Yes, and my next question is, since we are here for a world peace celebration, do you think that world peace can ever happen in reality in the earth?
You know, from a lot of people, in a point of view, probably they would see it as something mad, you know. But you know, I always believe, you know, from day one that, you know, with the music I would do, you know, I think music can join the world together, you know, because it's something that it's unstoppable. You know, something we are always out there. It's not like something that you could put out and other people could block it away and say, yo, nobody's is gonna listen to this. You can't stop music. You know, once the music is positive, you know, once it's clean, and once you can do it in such a way that people from all walks of life can really relate to it and feel that music, then definitely something like world peace, you know, it can happen, you know. So, you know, it just, we have to believe as artists and as people, you know that it can happen, and just put our heart in it, you know, and just work towards it, man. I definitely believe it can happen, man. And they have to stand up for something like that, like world peace, you know, sing my music, them I will know, say, you know, people around the world are gonna listen to it and feel that joy inside of them for walk over to somebody who is not necessarily from his or her country or his, you know, or from his or her culture, you know, and have that love in his heart for him or her, you know. So, you know, it's just joy what the music bring. We know, say, you know, if we do it the right way and do it to people around the world can relate to it, can feel this music, trust me, man, world peace is definite, you know.
Yes,
I just want to say 30 years, you said 30 years from now, well, that song, Deep in Love,
yeah,
that's it. That's the one. It's
okay.
It's it. Thank you.
Give thanks, man.
Excuse me on the court. Laura Souza from Roots Rock Reggae Video.
Yeah.
And last year I videotaped your show, and I'd like to be able to get a copy of that to you.
Okay.
And I've been following your career from back in, because I go to Jamaica and just search.
A lot of shows.
Yeah, the show and the awards and everything. I mean, most the people, the young people that win these awards, nothing really ever happens to them career-wise. I'm not saying nobody, but I'm just saying you're a real exception to be able to be able to move forward, and it's obvious because you have such an extreme talent that when you get into the music, it's like you feel the music to the point where the next person feels it, and that's something that a lot of artists really have a hard time getting across.
True.
And I notice now that you're getting a little nappy. I was just wondering, because I've been, talking to different people and reflecting, and I'm just wondering if maybe you're feeling like you're at this point in your career or your life that, it's gonna go dread. Or anyway, I'm the one talking anyway. If you can comment maybe on some of the things that I've reflected on.
Yeah.
She's waiting for you to answer that. I think what she wants to know.
Well, I mean, we can go from the first thing you mentioned.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, a lot of us as artists in Jamaica, we get some awards, and sometimes we are not able to live up to them. It's sometimes the music is kind of biased, we can't fight it, we can't fight the media or whoever, sometimes is responsible for most of the things that go on in the music business, but we give thanks, we give thanks that the music that we do can reach out to people. Even if nobody ever seen Romain Virgo before, they can listen to one of my tracks, and then they feel the music, and then probably when they see me in real life, the music even reach to them some more. They can feel whatever we're doing. I give thanks that I can come here, and perform for the people, and everybody will go home and there's this joy inside. It kind of make me feel as if I win the lottery or something like that. That's how I feel when I see people really appreciate the kind of music that we put out there. So we give thanks for you. We give thanks for the people, who really support the music at the same time. Sometimes, when we go to some places, we just go to some shows and we see the kind of artists that perform, and we see the kind of music that people really go for. We listen to the radio sometime and we hear the kind of music that play on the radio, and then we wonder where, what direction is this music going into, and we wonder if it's gonna last, if the good music is gonna last, And then, when we get to travel and we get to go to so many places around the world, and we see the reception, the love that especially you people give to the music, we know that the future for the music is bright, So we give thanks. It's motivating. Whenever I come here and get this kind of reception, I go back home, and I know exactly what I need to do, because the music is alive and well, So it's just for us as artists to just continue for the music what we know is gonna live for a long while, music as I said before that people can definitely relate to, and just good music, good vibe, kind of keep up that vibe that the people who were there before us as young artists, we have to show them that we really appreciate what they've done for us. They were here before us. They created this business for us. So as young artists, it's our duty to make it live on. Bring it on so that the next generation to come can come with that same vibe and that same enthusiasm, towards the music. So, I am here as one of the young person inside the business right now who want to see this music live on, on and on and on, and the quality and just the whole vibe of the music never drop. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I want to represent. And it's just to get more young people like myself, You know what I mean? There are so many young people out there now who are doing reggae music. It's just for them to get that recognition that, you know, the world can get to see them. You know, sometimes we kind of, you know, the media and everything like that kind of shun away from them. You know, so we don't get to, people don't get to see us and people don't get to hear us. You know, so if they could just open that door, you know, and just let us through, you know, if it's even 50% of us, you know, then we know that, you know, the future for this music, you know, it's gonna be bright, you know, and the generation to come is gonna be even better, you know, because if the generation to come don't hear this kind of music that we are doing now, if they don't get to hear the real music and see the real music and see what our past, you know, the artists in the past have left for us, then, you know, there's gonna be nothing there left for them, you know. So, you know, they have to just work with us as young artists now and try to build us, try to put us on that level that the next generation to come can carry on, you know, and the next generation after them can carry on, you know. So that's my dream, you know, and that's something that we're working towards, you know. Yeah, man.
You just took my question, so I'm going to pass the microphone. Anybody else?
I have one question. Greetings, Romain.
Greetings, man.
2Jed from KTHX, the Reggae Shack up in Reno, Nevada, Lake Tahoe area.
Okay.
Big up to you.
Give thanks.
Just to follow up on what you just said there, in my experience, longtime reggae DJ, I've heard enough artists, you know, that came before you talking about they would like to see that door open and get more exposure for the music. In your journey as a musician, the kind of response that you've gotten here in America and elsewhere throughout, you know, outside of Jamaica, do you feel that now is the time for that door to open?
I strongly believe so. You know, it's overdue. You know, when you listen to the music nowadays, you will definitely see that as well. And now is the time. You know, we just have to believe, as I said before, we just have to believe as artists, as people who have you know are interested in the business, in this reggae business, you know, and you know, to just look forward and work hard, you know, kind of help to build it, you know, because if especially as people, you know, the people who were there before, if we just stand up and look and say, oh, whoa, this music is going nowhere, then it will go nowhere, you know. We're there before. We just need to show the younger people like myself, you know, who are coming up in the business the right way, you know, and at least, you know, tell the young artists, you know, that you know, these are songs that you will definitely need to do. This is the direction that you definitely need to look forward to if you want to see this music live on, you know, and you know, trust me, the young artists will learn, you know, they you know, we will go for it. You know, but it's just for the people to kind of help and you know, build that confidence in the artist. You know, it can definitely work, man. Trust me.
Yeah, it's great to see a young artist like you showing so much love and respect for the music.
Give thanks.
Big up for that.
Give thanks.
One other question I had, I've been asking a lot of other artists about it. It's kind of my favorite question of the weekend so far with the Jamaican Jubilee coming up.
Yeah.
You as a young Jamaican, what are you feeling right now as that big day approaches?
It's just a joy, you know, Jamaican, you know, celebrating 50 years of independence and just how far we're coming from, you know, and everything about our culture, including the music, you know, is involved. You know, we're coming from so far. Mental music, you know, ska, rock steady, you know, reggae. I mean, dancehall music. You know, there's so much that we need. You know, we're gonna celebrate. You know, we have so much to celebrate. You know, and so much to be happy about, you know, so we give thanks. I'm very excited, you know, try to take part in everything that is going on, you know, in my country at this time. You know, it's just, you know, whenever I go to Jamaica, it's just happy faces, you know, people are happy, you know, that we're celebrating 50 years, and I'm so happy to be alive, you know, to be sharing 50 years, you know, and just learning some of the things about my culture, my past, you know, ancestors that I never know, you know, and just want to keep that, you know, so I can pass it on to, you know, the next generation to come, you know, and just share how wonderful it was to be here on the 50th, you know, anniversary, you know, of our independence, you know, and just share the joy that I am gonna experience now, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You're a great young ambassador, man.
Give
thanks. Yeah.
I won. At least 4 times you talked about guiding young artists, showing what we need to do is show young artists the support and guidance and give them.
Yeah.
As a young man, as a young artist, speaking as a young artist, you sound like an elder artist. You know, so you know it's mature. You know, it's good to see.
Yeah.
Now so as you look at these young artists that you're talking about that need more shine, that the world needs to hear more of.
Yeah.
For folks, the real singer kind of people, like we had, like the world got blown away by Taurus, Romain Virgo's taking the world. The people that love the singers, who are a few that that are coming up that we need to hear about, that we need to know about?
Jano Star, if I should start calling, there are so many. I mean, you know, you just interviewed, you know, Shireen. You know, I'm gonna try and call some females. You know, Shireen. You know, there are some singers in Jamaica, like, you know, singers that I have worked with. You know, Sharita Lewis. You know, Sugar. You know, from my camp. You know, Tessan Chin. There are so many young female artists in the business that the world needs to hear some more. You know what I mean? And you would know some of them. You would have probably heard some of them. In my camp, you know, you have artists like, you know, D Major. You have artists like Esco Levi. You know, RC. You know, Christopher Martin is the next young artist like myself who's doing well. You know what I mean? You have Protege who is doing well. As Jano, there's so much young artists. You know, there are some young bands around the world that are in Jamaica that are doing well right now. You know, band like C Sharp. You know, Raging Fire. You have Blueprint Band. You have Jano. I can't remember all of the band names. You know, but you know, there's so much young. If you should come to Jamaica now and go to, you know, the thing about it, they're not getting the opportunity to go on some of the big stage. You know, so when you come, you will see them in some small venues performing, and then you will be blown away like, whoa, how comes you haven't heard this artist? You know, so there's so much young talent in Jamaica, so many young voices that people around the world, you know, need to take a listen to. You know, it's just for us, you know, to get that opportunity, you know, to get that shine, you know, so the world can really hear us, you know. So but there are a lot, you know, there are some names that I haven't called as yet too, because we just come off a stage. But you know, trust me, there are a lot of young talents in Jamaica, and they're not getting that exposure that we need to get, you know, and then, you know, sometimes, you know, the media will just focus on one portion of the music, and we don't try to balance, you know, so everybody will get a fair share, you know. So but I think as soon as we start do that, you know, then we'll definitely, you know, see the future, you know. And for those who think that reggae music is slowing down or it is dying out, you know, I have news for them. There are some young talented artists coming who are gonna do well, you know, and I'm here to represent. You know, I pledge, you know, as one of the artists that is always gonna be here, always trying to keep up that same kind of vibe that our artists left on us, you know. So yeah, man.
We're glad to have you back again.
Respect,
hope to have you back here many more times, and thank you so much for your performance
Manas.
and for taking time with us. A hand for Romain Virgo, y'all.
Yeah, man. Respect.